Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll, and if you're new here, then welcome. Welcome all. This is a shifting video. You might hear some noises in the background, you might hear some insanely happy laughter, because it's that time of day. Also, I've kind of been on this plushie craze where I've been like making my own like squishies. This is the other one I did. Look at how slow rising it is. I think I did really good with this one. Nah. This might be my favorite one out of all the other ones. Can you tell this is supposed to be... This technically is supposed to be like cake. And then I made this one for... Do you see? I actually screwed this one up pretty bad, guys. This one also. Can you guess who is this for who? Okay, so one's for Toshinori and one's for Keigo. Can you guess which one's for who? Who do you think likes sweets the most out of both of them? If you've watched Pop Quiz, if you watched all my videos, then you know who likes sweets. Not who likes sweets, but you know who doesn't really care for sweets, and you know who would actually probably like cake. So of course that's who the smaller piece is for, which you guys probably already guessed. And then the bigger piece is for the other person. So, of course I was going to go see Keigo this time because I went to see Toshinori last time. And I thought it would be a good idea to show up at the school. I didn't want to be at his house because I had a plan, and I figured it would be much harder for him to kind of like just run over me compared to if I was in like his actual territory, like you're on my turf now, like kind of like that. I couldn't have him do that, so I figured if we made it in a neutral area, if I met up with him in a neutral area, that would be a perfect place. So I decided to bring this as a gift. And you know how items from this reality turn different there. Obviously I couldn't carry it the same way, so I placed it on the plate. You know, and I brought this item for Keigo. Which cake was it? Whichever cake you think it is, put it in the comment. The one that you think I got for Keigo and the one you think I got for Toshinori, based off of what I told you about the sweets thing. That's your clue, okay? Yep, sorry. I hope that you guys didn't see that the entire time. It has not disappeared, but I can see it. So, I showed up at the school, but I made sure to show up after school, and I knew Keigo would still be there because he stays after now to do all the paperwork. Also, I haven't been in the school because, you know, right now summer school is going on, and I said I was going to take the summer classes with the kids, but I decided not to do that. I wanted to try and spend more time with Frodo when I can. And as you guys know, I don't really do Frodo. I don't really do videos about Frodo. I sort of stopped because, you know, I want to have to say really good things about my kid, and I can't always say that. So, but he's gotten a lot better. He's speaking more. So I'm gonna let you guys guess. Just put in the comments pink or purple. Which cake do you think I gave that I came to bring Keigo? Which one do you think he liked? And which one do you think Toshinori would like? I'm gonna let you guys vote on that. And then actually I'll reveal it at the end of the video. I think that will be a lot more fun. So I bring in my special piece of cake. And I bring it to the school and I cover it up and I bring it there for Keigo, and I wait for him to finish up his paperwork. I'm watching him through the window of the office, and he's just filling them all out, and he's just dressed in his normal clothes. And he stopped for a minute, he looked over at the window, and I moved out of the way that way he wouldn't see me, and then I heard footsteps coming over. So then he opened the door and he's like, "Cotton Candy, I knew you were there." And I was like, "I have something for you." And he goes, "What is it?" So he opens the door and I walk in the office. And I thought there was more, I don't know why I thought there was more staff in there. I was for sure that Principal Nezu would be in there. I was pretty sure I saw Endeavor walk in there, but they weren't there. They were like gone for some reason. So I walk in and I go, "I have something that I need to give you, and I have something I want to say to you." And he goes, "What do you want to say?" And we're having some technical difficulties here. I said you guys would hear noises in the background. That's the vacuum cleaner, yeah. I decided to go ahead and do this video, even even though there's a vacuum going on in the background, I'm pretty sure you guys can still hear me. I'll just wait for them to be done. So what do you guys think of my cakes? I kind of went cake crazy, right? I went kind of nuts. I'm gonna wait for this to move like far away a little bit. That way I can finish telling you guys without worrying about the noise in the background. But I told you guys you would hear noises. I hope this is enough light. I don't really like that it's like... Oh, shout outs to you, whoever you are. There's someone new who joined my channel. They said that I have lovely, they just love the dark. What did it say? Something about lovely dark circles under your eyes, or, you know, they're so pretty. And like, dark circles are not pretty, you know. Yeah, I was just, you know, busting their chops or whatever. Earlier I noticed that in a comment. I think it's far away enough now that you guys will be able to hear me, hopefully. Okay, continue. Sorry. So I tell Kago, I have a special surprise for you. He sees the cake. He goes, thank you. You to make this for me. I'm like, I made it just for you. And I'm afraid for him to taste it because I know what I made it out of. But of course, he takes a bite out of it and it's delicious. Because like I said, for some reason, everything is delicious there. It's really good. So then, Kago puts the plate down after he bites out of it. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, did you like it? And he's like, I loved it. And then he pulls me close to him, like pulls my hips close to him, and he pulls me into a kiss, and then I say, I have something else for you. And so like, I read the letter to him. I tell him, you know, I read everything that's in the letter. Should I read it to you guys again? No, you guys should remember from last time. But anyway, basically I underlined everything in the letter. I read all of it. And oh my God, guys, the expression on his face was like priceless. He looked so relieved, so happy, just like he just melted right in front of me. He just hugged me so tight, and I hugged him back. I was just like, oh, I love you so much. And you know, I just played in this whole I love you, you know, thing, and that way he can forget about what he saw at Toshinori's house. That way that image would not be like engraved in his head or whatever. So, and I go to show you how much I care. I thought that this time you will let me take you know, this time you will let me take control of things, that you let me handle things. And he goes like, yeah, what do you want to do? And he kind of backs up a little bit and he does this. He puts his hand on the desk. But then I'm like, no. And then I look over, I'm like this. I'm like, come over. So I take his hand, I'm leading him over to like, it's like a utility closet, but there aren't really that many items in there because it used to be an old paint room like for art. But then they switched it into like this office because it was big enough for that. And then you have this small little cabinet area. Well, it's a very closed and confined space, but it's closed enough that me and him could fit in there. And it was big enough for us to put like a chair in there. So I took one of those chairs and I put it in there, and I had Kago sit down in the chair. And so like we're in there, and I just closed it because it wasn't okay, so it wasn't completely dark, okay? There was light shining in so you can see each other, okay? It wasn't only covering some parts of our bodies. I want to try and get you guys a good mental image, okay? Yes, this video might be a little bit cringy, but at the same time I have a lot to say because I feel like I really figured out who Kago is. So we're in there. Okay, just imagine the lighting is a little bit darker than this, but we can see each other. It's light enough. We have the door closed to the cabinet and the chair is there. So I sit down on top of Kago and I start removing his shirt. He lets me do it. He puts his hands here and then he says, anything you want, Cotton Candy, I'll let you do anything you want to me. You're in control this time. You are. So I said, okay, I'm glad to hear that. And I kind of come over and I like, you know, bite his ear a little bit. And then he does this and kind of kiss like this side of my face. And we're making out and I'm doing his shirt. And then I remove like my shirt off, take my shirt off because I wore like the pin skirt and you know, I made it look like I was going to work. So I took off the skirt and the shirt that I had on. So I'm just sitting on him in my bra and my panties. So I'm sitting there, and I undo like my bra, and I go toward him, and he like immediately like latches on to me and starts, you know, doing a tussle with his tongue. He's like licking around like my nipple and stuff. And then he reaches up and he's like putting his hands in my hair. And then so I run my hands like this down his chest, and I take my fingers and I put them like over where his nipples are, and I move my other hand down. And then while I'm moving my hand down, I start to unbuckle like his pants so I can take them off. And then I remove them, and then I want him to take his like boxers all the way off, but he doesn't take them off. He's like, no, leave them halfway on. So he just had them pulled down, so you know, he was just out. His special straw. So I was playing with it, and I was rubbing it, and he was like, oh, that feels so good, cotton candy. And I was like, so then I'm like, you know what'll feel better? So then I get on my knees, and I start, you know, like giving him like a good stroke, and I'm doing this, and then his hand goes on top of my head. But okay, so there's a difference between stroking someone's hair or touching them or whatever, and then there's putting a little pressure and then trying to. So he did that, and I stopped and I looked up at him. I'm like, okay, go. He goes, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Whatever you want, whatever you want. And then I'm like, just put your hands to your side. So his hands are like this. Okay, guys, remember. So the way the chair is facing a wall. Give you guys a mental image. So chair. Oh no. Okay, so wall, chair, but the chair is turned around like you're gonna sit in the chair this way, right? But then Kago is sitting in the chair, so his back is kind of against the wall, right? And then I'm sitting like on him, like that. So I continue, and then I stop for a minute, and I go up and kiss him, and then he does this. He puts his hands like here, kind of like this, and I'm like, and I go, Kago. He goes, oh, okay, sorry, whatever you want. Now I have a rule, okay? My rule is like a 3 seconds. It's like a, not 3 seconds. It's a three strikes and you're out type rule for that. For the whole submission thing, okay? If you're not gonna submit to me, don't submit. But don't sit here and say you're gonna do it. And you know, he said whatever you want, I'll do, okay? I said let me be in control, but letting me be in control doesn't mean, okay, do whatever you want. You're the one who said that crap, right? So you should just follow through with what you said. So we're sitting there, and then I get on top of him, I start writing him, and then, so I sit on top of him, I'm writing him, but then I switch like my position so that I'm like in a reverse cowgirl, so my legs are like around him. So the way it is, like, he's behind me now, and usually when a guy is behind you, and you have a really dominant guy with you, he would normally reach around and he'll use one of his hands to like play with your nipple. He'll put his other one down lower to play with your man in the boat, because he's trying to get you to not just to like orgasm. He's trying to get more than one, so he tries to get you to get off before him, and then the second time, he really dives in, and by then you're really sensitive, so you're like, and then by the time he reaches his climax or his orgasm, you orgasm again. So you basically have like two, so because girls can actually have two, sometimes three, depending on if they do it right. So he was trying to do that. He like put his hand here, and I said, okay. I said, he goes, no, it's okay, I got it, it's okay, it's fine. He goes, it's fine, whatever you want to do. And I'm like, whatever I want to do. And he's like, well, don't freaking ruin my mojo then. You're ruining my mojo. So I get up, he's still sitting in the chair, and you know, he's hard as a rock, he's like poking out, like sticking up. And I look at it again, and I'm like, okay. So then I get on the chair. And I put one knee on the chair and I put one hand on the back of the chair, like that. And so I do like this. Like I like lean forward and I put like my butt up to him. And I go, you're not gonna move. You're gonna sit here like this. So he's sitting on the edge of the chair because I'm trying to give him less control. I want him to just feel like just to be right at the edge. So that way all his focus can be on holding himself up and I can't be in control. It's kind of a weird position because the way I was sitting. So I was holding on to, I was holding to the chair. He had one leg on the wall on the side of me, and the other one he had his knee kind of in the chair, which is not really what I wanted. I wanted him to kind of sit on the edge of the chair, even though it's weird. The chair is not like, so it, even though it has a back, the back is like further back, so it can actually touch the wall, okay? Almost kind of like, okay, think of it as a reclining chair, okay? So it kind of does that. So that's the position we're in. That's how I was able to make him sit that way. So then he's like, so I guess I was like, he was like, I was like beating up against him good, so. Wait, they'll do it this way, okay? Because we're facing this way, we're facing the wall. So he's behind me, this is me, this is him, and so he's not supposed to be moving, he's just supposed to be sitting there, and I'm supposed to be moving, like, hitting against him, like this, you know. And so then, but then, you know, he takes his hand, and he puts his hand on the other side of me, and he's doing this, he's pressing this. So then I turn around and I look at him, so then I'm like, okay, we've already passed the 3 strikes and you're out thing. I'm just gonna, you know, just sit in front of him then. So I was sitting in front of him. So now he's sitting down on the other side, and I'm sitting directly on top of him. And he has his arms like this. And I go, Kago. And he goes, whatever you want to do. And his voice gets lower, deeper. Also, we're in this closed space, okay? And I go, no. I'm like, no. You ruined, I said, you ruined my mojo. He goes, I ruined your mojo. I'm like, yeah, you did. And I like look away from him because before I come back to what happened, I'm just going to explain something to you women out there in case you don't know this, okay? Some of us, most of us know this, but a lot of us don't, okay? If you're to say you were in a store somewhere, or just, I've had people approach me before, like men, and what they do is sometimes, it's very easy to pull someone in. It's very easy to create sexual attention. It's not hard at all. All you need to do is just lower your voice a little. Walk up to someone with a deep voice. Stare at them like you know. Stare at them, like look them in the eye. Like you want to like fuck them. Or like you're ripping their clothes off, okay? Or like you are doing them. Just walk up to any woman with a deep voice. Look at her like you want to do bad things to her. And close the space. You are going to feel, if you're a woman, you're going to feel something, okay? Because we can feel that. Alright? It does create sexual tension. I don't care if you're a pan. I don't care if you're non-binary. Your body reacts to it, okay? It just happens. And I've been in situations before where recently this guy walked in the store. He's like, can you help me find something? His voice was deep, okay? And the look he was giving me was like, you know, he wants to eat me alive, kind of. It was the stare, it was the eyes. He's just staring at me like that and looking at me that way, and then closing the space, okay? So I said, sure, I'll help you find it. But I was all like flustered and stuff because of how he talked to me and his tone and his look and everything. And so like I turned around, but he was almost like robotically like to go get the item because I got aroused from him. And I think they say something about, you know, the vibrations in the voice. It's lower. Obviously it affects you, but also the demeanor, the attitude, all that. So by the way, you just learned something new if you didn't know it. Obviously, compliments of Cotton Candy Doll. Thank you. So you guys, if you ever see a girl you like, just do that. Just try it. Walk up to her, close the space, talk to her in that deep tone as you were, excuse me, say it like that. You look at her like you want to do bad things to her, you will get like a reaction, and she will feel something, even if she doesn't act like it, or even if he doesn't act, you know, actually, or even if he doesn't act like it, like I said. So, let's rewind it back to this situation, okay? I'm already in this space. He's already has a closed space at me, okay? It's over. I lost my mojo. I can't. And now, instead of me being bold and dominant and coming at him, now I'm kind of like a bit of like, not, I wouldn't say like a coward. I just don't have that take charge anymore. Now it's kind of like, damn, you know, you just drive me nuts doing this. Like, why would you do that? And he puts his hand, so he puts his hand over, he like turns me around. He puts his hand on the chair like this, so he's holding on to the back of the chair, but barely, because it's like leaned down. So his body is leaned down, so we're like this. So, okay, like, I'm like this, okay? This is my bottom. This is him. So he's leaning like this now with his hand there. And he's doing like this and pushing me into, so I'm like this, pressed into the chair. And I'm trying to be like really quiet at the same time. And, you know, so I just let him. Screw it. You know, some guys, they just don't have the ability to give up control. And the reason is because they've learned how to do everything themselves. And it's because they've had to do it probably from the time they grew up, or maybe once they reach that independent age, now they're just so used to doing everything themselves, they never had anyone do it for them. Or it could be a number of things, but usually that's it. They're just a really independent guy, and those are the ones that turn out to be like the really dominant ones. And it's really hard for him not to be dominant. Like his hand movements, where he was putting his hands, how he was, you know, reacting, how he was moving, how he was looking at me. He kept looking at me like I was a snack, you know. And it's like, okay, some people are just not capable of it. Toshinori is actually capable of it. He can do it. He can hand over control to me in a heartbeat, and it's nothing. Like, he can switch on and switch off like that. And Keigo just can't. He can't do it. Sure, Toshinori has held back from me before to where he didn't let me completely do it, but at least he'll let me believe I did, and then let me try. He's just used to taking control, so I just let him. So basically, afterwards, okay, we came out of the closet, and he said, let's go home. I went home with him. We took the long ride in his limo, drove to his house. We got inside. We sat down. I said, can you make me some coffee? He made me coffee. I actually wasn't afraid to drink it because I said, you know, he's probably not going to poison it. We've already had our time together. So then we're drinking, and he's smiling at me. He's staring at me, and I go, what? And he goes, nothing. And I said, you didn't let me, I was like, you really didn't let me take control there. He goes, no. And I said, you know, do you really, I said, are you, like, really satisfied with me? Because I have to wonder that if you're not willing to let me do it. And he goes, no. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm not fully satisfied. And I go, what do you mean you're not? What do you mean you're not satisfied? Like, what? What? Huh? He goes, well, you wanted to know the truth, right? And I'm like, come on. And he's just sitting there smiling at me, guys, and I'm just like, I don't satisfy you. Like, I said, you have to know that doesn't make me feel good, right? He goes, all the more reason why. I go, all the more reason why what? He said, I don't mean you're not satisfying. You are. It's just, he said, once is not enough for me. Like, he goes, he tells me that, so apparently after I leave, he goes back to like the bathroom and he plays with himself while he's like yelling my name the entire time. He wants me to hear him, and they can hear him yelling, but they don't know what the yelling's about because he sounds angry. They don't know he's getting upset. Wow. And I'm just like, come on. you know. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's not, he goes, once it's not enough, you should just let me do it as many times as I want. And I go, but I don't, I said with Keiko, if I don't satisfy you, why are you with me? Get with someone who can satisfy your, you know, sexual desires or your arousals. And he said, it's you. It's only you. And I said, I don't really understand. You just said you don't. You just said I don't satisfy you completely. He said I don't satisfy him completely because we only do it one time, and then you're like, well, that's it, I'm gonna go, bye. And he's like, I just leave. And I go, I never just leave. I never just go, okay, bye, and just leave. I usually just hang out with you. We do other things. I don't want it to all be about sex all the time. It can't be. Like, we have a very good relationship with each other. I know it. He goes, you asked me sexually if you're satisfied with me. He said, I told you you're not because you don't want to do it again. I said, I never said I wanted to do it again. Keiko, I just don't want to be raw. By the time I'm ready to leave there, I don't want to be sore and raw. I said, you know what? I said, why don't you just... And he said, well, the reason is because after you come, after you orgasm, you make the sound and you have that face, and immediately I get turned on by it and I want more. Well, then it's not my fault then. It's just that you're a freak and you need to do something else. You need to, you know, just get like a pocket pussy. Just, you know, screw the hell out of that before you see me, and then, bam, you'll be satisfied. I said, or I just won't make any more sounds. I'll just be quiet from now on. And he said, you know, you can't be quiet. He said, how about you just let me do it as long as I want to? I said, well, what if it turns out that way? That's all we do. He goes, it will never just be like that. Come on. And he goes, but I'm just saying, just this once. And he starts closing the space between me again. I'm just like, so he's hurt again. Okay, well. I'm like, well, damn it. He goes, don't you want to satisfy me? You said, you know, it bothers you that you can't do it. You should totally do it right now. And I'm just like, don't use my words against you. Don't use your words against me, okay? That's not why I asked that. I was really just trying to throw him into a trap where he does allow me to do whatever I want, and just, but obviously he's not capable of giving up that control, so I learned that about him. And so her and I ended up with us making love again, passionately, and then we getting pounded again, and then coming back here. So that was my time with Keiko. He didn't say a word about what happened last time. I think he completely forgot about the whole situation with Toshinori. Unless Toshinori brings it up, which he's not, because Toshinori is very private when it comes to like something that's truly personal. Like, you know how they say, sorry, nothing personal, but it's personal? It's kind of like that. So yeah, I really can't compare with that. Also, so I came back here and I was just like, you know, I gave him the cake. He took one bite out of it and that was it. So I'm not really sure how much he actually enjoyed it or what it tastes like. But I know the cake, I know all the food there is really good anyway, so yeah, so that's what happened. So yay, my plan works. I applaud to you guys who gave me the idea of reading the letter and that's it. And yeah, just go with that idea. You know, everyone else that was saying, you know, poison the drink and all this. I'm like, you guys care about me or do you want to get me to get smashed? Because that's what's going to happen. So what were you guys' vote? What kind of cake do you think I gave Toshinori, and which one did you think I gave to Keiko? If you said that I gave Keiko the purple cake with pink frosting, ding, 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 you win. Here's your prize. You win this cake. Wonderful, right? Don't you like it? Yeah, I actually don't really like it. It's not squishy. Okay, look. Look. Shoot, you can't even see it. I'm trying to put it in front of the camera. It doesn't really, I guess it kind of feels out. I don't know. And then I got this one for Toshinori. If you guys guessed, it's probably because of the yellow. I'm not even sure what kind of cake this is supposed to be. Strawberry lemon? I'm not really sure that would taste very good together. I have no idea, but anyway, yeah. So tell me what you guys think about. Do you think that I should have asked them about that question about being satisfied? Did I just set myself up for a trap for every time I come there? I don't know. I don't know why I did that. What did I do? Anyway, so my next time I go back, I need to make a plan for Toshinori. I said that, you know, I would kidnap him if he doesn't ever accept my apology, or if he keeps giving me the cold shoulder. I can't take it that much longer. I need to see him. I need to be able to touch him and feel him. If I can't kiss him, I just have to. Like, I just have to. Otherwise, I'm gonna take something valuable from him, like his manhood, again. I swear, I'm not crazy, but I want to. I really want to do that. I really want to kidnap him. I just might. Like, if he doesn't do what I want, I'm definitely going to. But yeah, so I went there. So I went back there, and you guys know what happened. Now, when I go back again, by next time I'll be gunning for Toshinori, and hopefully I'm able to get what I want, which is for him to accept my apology, because I'm going to apologize again. I'm going to give him this cake, and I hope that he says he missed me, and I can kiss him and hug him and all that great stuff, and love on him and hug him and just be, I just want him to be my big teddy bear. I just want to just bite his neck and just, he better forgive me, or else, I swear. He better. I'm just thinking about it, just dying. God. I'm not writing him another love letter. I gave one to Keigo, so I hope Keigo rubs it in his face. You know what, she wrote me this letter, blah blah blah, and like brags about me, and he feels the same, like, honestly. But Toshinori also told me this too. Even though last time he was pretending like to go in my rear, like give me anal, he said he would never do that without my permission. He wasn't actually going to do that. He said he was going to go in my other hole. He wasn't going to do that because that's a line he said he wouldn't cross. But I should have just let him do it because he wanted me to have that fear. And he liked how I was trembling and afraid of him, and he was enjoying the look on my face and all that. And I'm like, you're such a dark, cynical person. And you know, he smirked, and that was it. So I didn't get a huge anything from him, but I knew that for a fact that Toshinori was playing around with me, especially because he kept smiling. He thought I was gonna get it from Keigo. Ha! I didn't. There you go. In your face, disgrace. In your face, disgrace. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys like my video, don't forget to give my video a like. And if you hated it, don't forget to hit the bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Everyone have a good night. Bye. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.